vibrant community, welcome to Bible Club.
The show that's your portal to good vibes, laughter, and invaluable life lessons. How's everyone doing, Vibe Tribe? We've curated an extraordinary experience for you today. From wisdom-packed moments to captivating interviews, grab your favorite snacks, get comfortable, and let's embark on a journey of positive vibes together. We're unraveling essential life lessons, sharing stories that resonate, and who knows, there might be a surprise or two that'll leave you inspired. You know what time it is? It's time to take off. Buckle up, Vibe Tribe, because the Vibe O'Clock starts now.
Indeed, yes, indeed, the Vibe O'Clock starts right now. Yo, guys, sorry, I was being trapped here by the setup. Just had some issues here that were putting me in trouble, but I managed to make it out alive. Please forgive us for the time. I know last week we spoke about time, but yeah, we had a little bit of setbacks, but we made it. Today, I am riding solo, guys. I'm riding solo. Today, there is no PJ, no Shaka by my side, but I know I've got the YPG fam, with me today, and it is going to be something awesome. And today's topic is something really important. Today we are going to be talking about the graveyard mentality. The graveyard mentality. I wonder what's on your mind about this topic. The graveyard mentality. What's on your mind when we think about this subject or this topic here, the graveyard mentality? I just want to get here the image for everybody to have a look at. And I want to know in the comment section already. Today, guys, please don't shoot me. Today, we don't have the news. Today, we don't have much. I am really riding solo, so don't fight me now, guys. It's not me. This time it wasn't me. I wanted Lebo on board and everyone on board, but it's not me today. But we are going to be the graveyard mentality. What comes to mind? I want to know in the comments section. What comes to mind when we think about this? Today, we'll be heading straight to the point with this topic because I think it is something super important to deal with and to talk about. So, what comes to mind when we talk about the graveyard mentality? I want to hear, I want to see in the comments section as we go. Here when we read the comments, Pinky's comment. You've already finished me here. We need 2 hours of Vibe O'Clock. Yeah, no. We can do it, but I know that it's going to be a lot. Thank you so much, Eddie. Eddie, I know indeed I am not riding solo because y'all's got my back today. So let's go. Untatile says here that the graveyard mentality, I think you always have negative thoughts. Okay? Negative thoughts is the graveyard mentality according to her. That is something true. I want you guys to take the picture and really dissect it. We've got here a mind, we've got here the graveyard. It's quite dark and gloomy and scary. What does this have to do with us today? Zanella says here, a negative mindset. A negative mindset. This is what Zanella says here about the graveyard mentality, Sbusiso says, not believing in yourself. That is the graveyard mentality in Sbusiso's perspective. Emihle says here, what comes to my mind, the graveyard is a quiet place filled with dreams that will never be fulfilled. So that graveyard mentality means that one has no dream or vision. That's something very interesting to think about. Someone has no dream, no vision. Yeah, if you stop and think about it, If you have no dream, no vision, as we mentioned the previous week, you've got no purpose. You've got no reason for you to push, to wake up, to fight for your life. You take each day as it comes. And that's something scary. I mean, if you don't have that push factor in life, it can be very, but very scary, because now you take each day as it comes. You're just living by the moment, by the time, and you're not working towards anything. That's very well observed by Emihle, the graveyard mentality here. Sandra says here that what comes to mind with this topic is how a person's mentality is filled with negativity, and how your mind is full with something full with darkness and blur. So for Sandra, maybe it is that lack of clarity, we can say. I've noticed here the common thread with everyone already with the negative thoughts, which is very interesting. Negative thoughts, but to her, someone who's a bit dark, the mind is a bit dark, blurry, it is not clear, and it's dark. Spusisa says, graveyard mentality is living in the past and always going back. That's an interesting one as well. Because if you stop to think about it, you can't progress looking back. You can't, as Trevor Noah well said, you can't move forward looking backwards. If you want to go forward in life, if you want to progress, if you want to have life, you can't focus on the losses of the past. And we human beings, we have this tendency to carry the past with us. It's this luggage, this backpack that follows us everywhere we go. It's a burden, it's a weight. It's something that weighs us down a lot, according to Spusise. Slee says, the graveyard mentality is giving up on your dreams. Okay, so we've got another one here talking about giving up on dreams and your vision and so forth. Here we have Blessing, who says, the graveyard mentality is believing in something that is superstition, something you don't really believe in yourself. Maybe sometimes you don't really believe in yourself. Okay, that's interesting. Rose says, having given up on your dream, having a life without vision, thinking and saying you'll never make it. Okay. Maria says here, I think it's a point of no return. Oh, that's a bit scary. It's a bit scary, but well observed. Here, Nomfundo says, a mindset of fear, thoughts of everything will never wake up. All right. Tabang says, I think the graveyard mentality is about not believing you can be the best and not believing in yourself. Someone who sleeps on themselves and sleeps on others. Very interesting by Inga here. I've noticed the trend as well. You're also talking about a lot of that lack of self-belief, that lack of that self-drive, that self-motivation for you to press on and make it. So this is very interesting here, that everyone is already talking about that lack of self-belief. And I think that's where the problem lies already. If we take it even a step back, what is the graveyard? I mean, let's stop and think about the graveyard. The graveyard is a place where we go and we put to lie down, to rest, what will never be alive again. It's a place where you have that compartment where you are going to leave a dead body. It could be of a family member or a friend or a relative or someone. And that place is going to be the place where you are going to rest that body there, and never again you are going to see that. Never again you are going to encounter that. Never again you are going to be in contact with that person, right? So the other issue is then the mindset. Where do the two meet now? We've got the mindset and we've got the graveyard. Everyone spoke about a negative mindset, a negative mentality. People who are always negative. People who don't see good in anything. And this is a problem that we have in South Africa today with the young people. We don't have that self-belief for great things anymore. And as many well mentioned in the beginning, that self-belief to overcome, that self-belief to conquer great things, to be up there in life. One of the biggest pains is that nowadays we are afraid to dream. And I'm asking myself, why are people so afraid to dream anymore? Why are people so afraid to go and pursue big things? Why is this mindset of negativity, of that lack of self-belief so strong with us today? Why is it that we've allowed all these things to sort of hold us back from actually living life? Because the graveyard is a place of death. And most people are having lives which aren't really existent, aren't really like alive or kicking or anything. Everybody takes each day as it comes, and that's something scary. Here, Melissa says something interesting. This mentality may be a coping mechanism for some, a way to proceed and deal with trauma and health issues. And maybe people stop dreaming because of this, because of a trauma. Trauma of a failure, of a disappointment, the trauma of an upset. Maybe someone let them down. And because of that, people have lost the hope or the desire to dream. People have lost that intent to go out and do something great in life. Because of that one disappointment that maybe had just sparked them for the longest of time, it has influenced them. So I want to ask real quick from you guys in the comment section, what takes a person's mind to the graveyard? What takes a person's thoughts to that kind of space where they don't live anymore, they don't dream anymore, they don't plan anymore, they have no hopes for their lives? What is the reason why we don't see ourselves accomplishing big or great things? This is something that we need to sort of deal with, because this is what's happening in life. We've stopped dreaming, we stopped fighting, we stopped hoping, we stopped doing so many things. And because of that, like, we're stuck. A lot of young people today live stagnant. A lot of young people today are just troubled by so many things, so many problems in their lives. And why? My question is why? Why have we allowed ourselves to get to that point? So this is what I want us to talk about today. And I want to hear it, or rather read about it here in the comment section. Because this is something that affects a lot of people today. A lot of youth. We see a lot of youth who are afraid of doing big things and great things. Bakazi says here, deadly mentality. I'd like to say lack of belief, because there is something more that can be done in the graveyard. I wouldn't say when a person doesn't see a solution. Nduduzi says here, I think it's many voices, probably voices of influence, people telling them they can't do anything good out of their lives, they can't succeed, they can't make it. Snalo says, I think it's disconnecting from positivity and reality. It's where our mind and our body shuts down. Penyo says, sometimes it's peer pressure from the friends that we have in order to fit in to certain friendships. I want to explore here Nduduzi's thoughts here for a second. Here we've got the opinion and the influence of many people. The reason why I think many people also have this graveyard mentality is because of the influence, friends, perhaps even family, colleagues. We tend to take the words, the advice of people whom we are closest to. And sometimes because many people, they face the disappointment, they've been hurt, they've been told they would never succeed, they like to spread that to other people. And because they spread it to other people, we, the victims, we accept it very easily. Yeah, it's true, I won't succeed, I won't make it. We're very easy to allow other people's failures and disappointments to dictate our lives and the way we should live. And that's why it's very important, if you want to come out of the graveyard mentality, you need to also learn to have the right surroundings, to have the right friends with the right mindset. Because when you have friends with the right mind, the right mindset, nothing stops you. Nothing holds you back. Nothing impedes your success. Because you will feed off of that positive energy, that positive vibe. But now when you're always listening and holding on to what people say, what people think, and their voices, it kills you inside, because that's the only thing you hear and you accept that as true. Saki says, lack of self-confidence, afraid to fail, afraid to try. Mostly they listen to many voices in their head. Another thing that really does keep us in the graveyard mentality is that self-confidence, that fear of failure. I've been sharing with the team at the grounds this week. It's been a daily thing about how failure is actually very important to your success. Because when you learn from your failures, when you learn from your disappointments, when you learn from everything that's holding you back, you learn to do better, you learn to improve, you learn to grow. You come out of that mindset, you start believing. But a lot of people take failure as, this is my life, I'm doomed to this, I'm destined to this, I'm marked for this, and I'm not going to come out of this. One thing is to fail. It's very common. You will fail in life at some point at something. But the problem is not failing. The problem is remaining, dwelling in that failure. Always fighting yourself, always labeling yourself. That negative self-talk. Someone said it here in the comment section. Itumeleng brought it up. Negative self-talk. You label yourself, you fight. And these are things we need to change. The way we speak to ourselves. If you want to succeed, if you want to come out of that graveyard mentality, even your self-talk needs to change, because the first motivator in your life is yourself. When you start fighting, when you start telling yourself you can do it, you can overcome, you can change, when the self-talk begins in here, in your mind, that's when everything starts to change inside of you. So this is something to consider, something that you need to think about. How is your self-talk? I know we're talking about failures, but what are the words you say to yourself when you fail? Are you always trying to fight yourself? Are you always labeling yourself? Do you always kick yourself and say, you know what, I'm not going to succeed. I was born to fail. I was born to suffer. Or do you actually change the words and say, you know what, I'm going to change this. I'm going to learn from my mistakes. I'm going to improve. I'm going to grow. And I'm going to see myself doing better. Today I didn't get it right, but tomorrow I will get it right. Like Angeline says here, turning the lemons into lemonade. Taking that bitter moment of a disappointment, of a failure, and turning it into something really nice, something pleasant. But I want to ask, let's go deeper, guys. Today, I know that usually we come with the zhuzh and the vibes and everything, but today let's actually take it serious. Because this affects a lot of people. We don't talk about this openly. We don't like to express this because we will look somewhat vulnerable. But I want us to really go deep in this, because many people are living in that graveyard mentality. When we go to school visits, I remember we went to a school, not this Friday, but the previous week, and the question was asked, what do you want to be in life? What's your dream? And then everybody says, oh, I want to be a businessman. I want to have money. I want to be a millionaire. Sharp. Nice. But how are you going to get that million? How are you going to actually get there? How are you actually going to see yourself earning millions and millions and millions? We've reached the point with young people where they don't even have a certain direction in life anymore. We like to say, no, I want to succeed. I want to be the best. I want to overcome. But how? I think that's also another thing in the graveyard mentality. We'll all talk, but we don't really have a direction or a goal. Some people found it funny in the class when one dude said, if it's his dream and it's his dream, we'll respect it. But it's like, no, I want to be a taxi driver. I want to be a thousandaire. Okay, we get it, but what's your actual plan to get thousands and thousands every month? What's your plan to actually see yourself succeeding or providing for your family? You say you want to open a business, but what kind of business would you actually like to open? We find ourselves doing this all the time. All the time. We like to say, no, I want to achieve this. I want to conquer that. I want to be at this level by this time. We speak a lot, but we don't actually have a game plan. From school, this is what I'm going to study, or this is the person I'm going to shadow, and this is the thing which I'm going to do in order to reach this objective. And as Precious says here, this mentality buries one's potential because no one sees, you don't see the end game of everything. You're just all talk. And that's something dangerous when it comes to this graveyard mentality. People like to speak, they like to show, they like to be funny, with their words, but take a look at their lives. There's no action. There's really no action at all. As here, Sigelela says, dreams without direction. That is by far one of the biggest things, one of the biggest issues nowadays. You have a dream, but you have no direction. You don't know where to go. You don't know how to spend your time, how to spend your energy, how to put all of that into this objective which you have in life. And I think that's something scary to live in, building on from last week's topic of purpose. A graveyard mentality is someone who is lacking purpose. We actually don't know what we want to do in lives. We don't know where we want to achieve, what we want to conquer. Here Mduduzi says, actually we don't put things on action. We're all talk, but zero action. And that's a problem with today. And that's one of the biggest things with the graveyard mentality. We don't put things into action as young people. Today I want to change, I want to do this, I want to achieve that. But think about this. What are you actually going to do? What's your game plan? How are you going to get to that place? How are you going to push? How are you going to get your dreams coming true? And that's scary. The graveyard mentality, it's something very subtle, but very subtle because it's something we don't fight. It's something that we don't even notice. We tend to just get it and, absorb it from the next person. Just because one person doesn't have a dream, the other person won't have a dream. And it's okay not to have a dream. Yeah, as long as my friend doesn't have a dream, it's okay. It's a problem. Yolanda says here, we lack consistency too. Another issue with the graveyard mentality. Think about this. For you to have a dream, you need to fight. You need to push. You need to be consistent. Day in and day out, you need to have this goal. I'm going to get there, and every day I'm going to fight for it. That means every day I'm going to have to sacrifice. Every day I'm going to have to wake up. Every day I'm going to have to do this. Consistency, it builds discipline. It's another thing with graveyard mentality. A lack of focus, a lack of discipline, literally every single day. For you to get where you want to be, there'll be days where you don't feel like doing it. You won't feel like studying. You won't feel like doing anything. But discipline means putting my feelings aside and getting the job done. And that requires discipline. So if you're lacking discipline for you to get what you want, to reach your objectives, your dreams, it's something worrying. And we're seeing this today with young people. Everybody wants to enjoy. Everybody wants to have fun. Everybody wants to live in the limelight. We live in a day where challenges rule young people. Think about this. Young people are being controlled by a challenge all the time. All the time. The new TikTok comes out. There's this new dance. There's this new song. But after that, we don't do anything else. We're not willing to take that energy into something productive. I'm not taking shots at the dance challenges or anything. Please don't get me wrong. But sometimes we put too much energy into the wrong things. And because of that, we don't get anywhere. We end up in the graveyard, which means that we're digging, essentially. It's very sad, but we're kind of digging our own graves every single day. when we decide not to put things into action, as it was well mentioned, when you don't stop to think about a strategy, when you don't stop and think about discipline, day in and day out, we're kind of building a grave for ourselves. And that's so scary. The graveyard mentality. And we've normalized it. I'm going to really be honest, guys. I'm going to speak a little bit here. Forgive me. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. But I'm going to go a bit deep. We are normalizing this. Every single day, this is becoming normal. It's normal for us not to dream. It's normal to behave in a negative mindset. It's normal for us to procrastinate, as it says here. Sibusisa well mentioned here. Let's stop procrastinating too. We've normalized all these things. It's okay. It's okay for us to not do anything. It's okay for us to not be proactive. It's okay for us not to have direction. As long as my friend has no direction and I don't have direction, it's okay. We've normalized all these things. We've built this comfort zone, and this comfort zone is sort of preparing that graveyard for us. Years down the line, we look back at our lives and we're like, what did I actually accomplish all these years? What did I actually do with my life? And it's scary now, like, I haven't done anything. So-and-so did this, so-and-so did that, so-and-so is in this place, and I'm still in the same place. I'm the same. The other day I heard, we asked, what do you want to be in life? No, I want to be a cashier. Like, look at the vision. We lack vision. We've lacked vision, as Mnombo says here, a lack of vision. We don't see ourselves anymore at the top. We've dropped standards of living, a standard of success, a standard of a good life. And it's so scary that today we are living in a world where it is normal to have this kind of mindset. We don't have go-getters anymore. We don't find young people who are innovating as much as before. We do have, don't get me wrong, we do have people who are trying to make breakthroughs, who are trying to succeed, who are trying to do great things in life. But it's not the majority anymore. It's a very tiny group. Nonella says here that we are afraid to take risks, good ones for our lives. And that's something that needs to happen. For you to come out of the grave, you're going to have to take that leap of faith. You're going to have to take that risk. Another thing here, I actually want to touch base on this here, is we've accepted to live a mediocre life. We don't have goals. We don't have standards anymore. High standards. And it's scary, guys. The graveyard mentality, I think it's very subtle. I think it's very, it comes in disguise in the form of a friendship, in the form of the influence of people, in the form of behaviors, the comfort zone, the lack of commitment, as it was mentioned here in the comments, the lack of taking risks. All of that is scary, and we're okay with that. We've set a standard where life is medium now, or even low, and it's okay, as long as I'm not the only one. And with this graveyard mentality, what we tend to do is we tend to latch too much onto people. And that's what's killing us. We've lost that sense of independence. It's another thing with young people. They're no more independent, being able to think by themselves or have their own sense of identity. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to achieve, and I'm going to do it. Whether I have the support of people, whether I have the support of no one. We don't have that independence anymore to come out of rock bottom, as Tabang well mentioned here in his comment. He says the thing about graves is that once you hit rock bottom, it's dark and many can't find their way out. So that lack of independence, it kills you. And you hit rock bottom, as he says here. And sometimes when we realize it, it tends to be very late in our lives. I could have done better. The scary thing with this graveyard mentality is that it gives you a lot of regrets. And as we said last week, you can have the pain of discipline. You suffer a little bit now, enjoy later. Or you have the pain of regret, where you enjoy now, but the suffering is just long term. It's scary. And we've accepted this. We've allowed this to kind of creep into our lives. Even in the YPG. Even in the YPG amongst us, we've allowed it to creep in to our mindsets. Because in the YPG, we push everyone for greater things, to dream big, to aim high. We're that support structure where we are like the trampoline that will help you to succeed in life. And now, a lot of people are allowing that to creep into them, even within the YPG. And we can't allow that. We can't at all. Blessing says here, we don't give time anymore to what we dream. We make time for basic things. And this world has come to every individual thinking the same, or should I say thinking inside of the box. That is true. The graveyard mentality has got us all thinking within a box. We all think the same. Like I said earlier, we've all normalized certain things. It scares me when we say it's okay not to be okay. It's not okay. You need to be fine. There's no such thing as it's fine, like, okay, you're not okay. Sharp. It's good that you're not okay. No, you need to be fine. It's okay not to have a dream. Since when? How are you going to wake up in life? And that's the box that we're kind of living in today. The box where we don't aspire anymore. Once upon a time, we would aspire for big things. Remember in school, we would always have those career days. And I don't know, in some schools, I never got to do this, but in some schools, I saw you get to dress up as the profession you want. You give a speech, you talk about how you want to be the lawyer or the president, or you want to go into politics, or you want to be a professional athlete. What happened to that inner child who dreamed big? What happened to that individual who once saw themselves going to high places? I remember there was always that girl who would dress up and like, I'm going to be the first female president of the country. What happened to that? Maybe you had that dream inside of you, that one day you're going to achieve something great. You're going to be in influential positions, and you are going to change the country, and you are going to improve certain things. What happened to that inner child which started dreaming? What happened to that person who saw themselves one day aiming high? Where is that person? And this is something I want you to think about, because one day maybe you had a dream. You had a goal, you had an objective, you had this plan for your life, like 10 years down the line, this is where I'm going to be. What happened to that person? Maybe you are having this mentality here, which Trinity is talking about. This slavery mentality, always playing the victim. No, because there was no funding, because there was no support from family, there was no this, there was no that. And because of that, I couldn't succeed. It's everyone's fault. It's not because of me. I tried, but clearly it's not working. Maybe that's what's going on inside of you. The victim, mindset has taken over. The reason why we planned this Bible clock, and I wish PJ was here, but it was all because we noticed that there is a drop in mindset. There is a drop in that ambition. There is a drop in an aspiration. And we're here to wake that up again, because maybe you are too deep in the comfort zone. You're too much asleep in relaxation. Maybe you've dropped the standards. One day you were up there. Your mind was up there. Today it's no more. And maybe we need to start fighting for our dreams again. Maybe you need to bring back that inner child that was inside of you that aimed high. Maybe we need to start looking bigger. And how do we do this? Now we need to stop and think, how do we actually come out of this victim mindset. I know we're all commenting, we're all talking about it, but the question is, how do you actually come out of the victim mindset? Stop and think about this. The first step, obviously, is that we have to disagree with the norms. Disagree with the low standards, disagree with that small mindset, disagree with everything that keeps us in the graveyard. Disagree with the opinions of people. We spoke about the influence of people and how people have traumas, how people have, gone through failures and so forth. We need to disagree with it. At the end of the day, if you're not fighting that, if you're not going against that thought, that mindset, it will always be part of your life. So you need to detach yourself from it. You need to be here. The mindset, the mentality needs to be far away from you. So you have to disagree. Maybe someone said, oh, but I tried and it didn't work out. No, get up and try again. Who said you should stop? Who said you should give up? As they always say, it's only over when the fat lady sings. Do you hear a fat lady singing? No, you don't. So keep on trying. You need to stop focusing on the negative. So disagree with everything that puts you down, everything that holds you back, with your comfort zone. Disagree with that mindset that says, I'm not good enough. There is no such thing. You have a brain, you have hands, you have a mouth, you have everything you need. You have legs, you have everything you need to succeed. There's that motivational speaker, Nick Vujicic. He has no hands. But the dude is killing it in life. He's literally killing it. So what's your excuse? Mindset is everything. You have to let go of that negative thoughts that says, I can't. You need to disagree with it. As long as you have that with you, you will never go anywhere in life. You will stay in the grave. Stop agreeing with your doubts. Stop agreeing with the low self-esteem. Stop agreeing with the failures. We need to learn that failure is part of our success. When we put failure and we learn to work with it, that's when we're going to make it in life. Your failure is not there to bring you down. Your failure is there to improve you. Your failure is there to make you better. Because you will ask yourself, what did I do wrong? What did I get wrong? Now I can improve. Now I can grow. Now I can learn. Now I can do better. Maybe it's that influence. Maybe it's time we learn a little bit of independence. Stop depending on what everyone says or think or feel about us. Maybe it's time to cut ties. Yes. Cut ties with that group of people who makes you feel a bit secure or comfortable or whatever. Maybe it's time that you let go of that group of friends that always keep you with that mediocre mentality. That mentality that says, you know what, at least we got 50%. No ways. No ways. There's no such. I remember in one of the schools I went to, there was a boy who was freaking out because he got 90% for maths. 90%, guys. His family doesn't accept that. It's not good enough. That's the standard of his home. For us, you'd be like, yo, 90%, I wish. I really wish. But for him, that was bad because his family has standards. And maybe you're around people who lack standards. They have no standards, zero standards. And because of that, you also lack standards. So maybe it's time you cut ties. Maybe it's time you learn to be alone. Maybe it's time you learn to dream by yourself. How many of our friends, and you guys know this very well, those who go to varsity, there are those who always like to say, you know what, my friend is doing medicine. I think I'm going to do medicine too. No, my friend is doing law. I'm going to do law as well. Detach, guys. It's time to cut the umbilical cord. It's really time to cut the umbilical cord. Stop depending so much on people. Learn to stand by yourself. It's your life. It's not theirs. They won't pay your rent. They're not going to pay for your food. They're not going to buy your data. They're not going to pay your school fees. They're not going to build your house. They're not going to do anything for you. You only have yourself. Of course, the YPG fam is there for you. But you firstly have yourself. So learn to disagree. Disagree with the failures. Learn from your mistakes and do better next time. The other thing which we need to start doing, guys, I'm going deep today because we didn't want to let it slide. We really wanted to go all out with this. It's time we expose ourselves. We need to expose ourselves to bigger things. Take yourself out of the normal environment. Change routines. talk to people, get to know people. Different kinds of people, different careers. Things which we need to see. It's time to expose ourselves to something new. Here, let me just read here PJ's comment here. Uncle Vinny, another important fact is that we need to convert the teachings, the theory, into action. All the amazing lessons are useless without action. The time to act is now. It's time to take off and be a reference to others. I don't think it's enough for our youth who have become references, or rather, I don't think enough of our youth have become references, and that includes in the YPG. And we can and must do so much more. That's so much true. I agree with you 100% on that, PJ. It's time to put it into action, because we don't have many people we can point and say, you see this person, he did it, so you can as well. It's always a struggle to find those stories. It's always a struggle to find. Why not you? Why can't you be the next one? The next one, I loved what we did June 17. We had all those people there on stage talking about their failures, their disappointments. We should be looking at those people and say, you know what? I need to be the next one on that stage. I need to share my story. I need to tell people that I can make it. I can do it. So it's time we open our minds and actually start seeing ourselves in high places, seeing ourselves, conquering, doing big things, doing great things. It's time we start seeing ourselves being the ones to inspire a lot of people. If we don't do it, who will? All we're going to do is tell stories of old people in the past, talk about June 16 in 1976. What about 2024? What legacy are you going to leave behind? What story are you going to tell? You need to see yourself there. And this is the real talk, no filters. Maybe you don't see yourself there. You're that kind of person who likes to say, so-and-so is there, it's fine. As long as so-and-so is there, it's okay. Nah. We need to be the ones to start the movement. What story are you going to tell? When people look at you, they need to see a reason to dream again. When someone hears your story, they need to have that thing, that fire burning inside of them to dream again. So it's time for us to bring out that inner child. It's time for us to explore, to do great things. Everybody listening to this right now, if you're listening to this, it's because it's important for you to understand you can do it. You can make it. Stop latching on to the failures. Stop accepting the mediocre standards. Stop holding on to the negative things. It's time for you to really take off, to take a risk, as Nolela said earlier on, and do something about your life. We can't take each day as it comes. Everybody needs a dream. So go out and explore. Maybe you say, but I don't have a dream. So go out and explore. Go and experiment. This is why we have the projects in the YPG, for you to discover your talent, for you to discover yourself, for you to discover everything, for you to have a direction in life. This is what we do in the YPG, to help you find that purpose. So that's going to happen when you start exploring. Thank you so much, PJ. Thank you so much, PJ. Yeah, today, PJ may not be here present physically, but he's with us here. I'm going to show you here the pictures from the event. And this is where you need to see yourselves. Excuse me, guys. Just a second. Just a second. Ima kancane, guys. Kancane, it's coming. It's coming. This was from the June 17 event, where we had everyone speak about their failures. And this is where you need to see yourself one day. They had their failures, but they also had their success. This is, if I'm not mistaken, this is Luyanda, who is an air hostess. Who would have thought? I don't even think she would have thought. But she made it. She made it. I just want to get it here. Just a second, guys. I just want to pop myself here into the video here. Whoa, it's frozen. Just a sec, guys. I am facing my technical issues, but we'll make it. We'll make it. We'll make it. This is where you need to see yourself. Next to her, we've got Itu, who is a lawyer today. And Itu's story is very interesting. Let me just fix my camera here, guys. There we go. Just hang in there, guys. Asseblief. Technicalities here, but we're going to get it right. Itu's case is interesting because she struggled a lot. And she had to take care of her mother and study at the same time. Think about this. She had to take care of her mother. Well, she had to stop her studies to take care of her own mother. But she made it, which means you can make it too. It's not over for anyone. It's not over for you. It's not over for me. It's not over for all of us. We can still be the best. But it starts here. We need to see ourselves there, on that stage one day. One day. You need to be on that stage and say, I made it, and you can make it too. Guys, it's going to be great. I'm actually excited because I can already see your story on that stage. I see here, I'm just calling out names: Sibusise, Chanel, Nomzameko, Tepiso, Angeline, Pibogutle, Kamugelo, Tidiso, Bani, Mutsidi, Master J, Mduduzi, Tumelo, Lindiwe, Tumeleng. I see you guys. And everyone else, even if I didn't read your name, I see you guys there on that stage one day. The question now is, do you see yourself on that stage one day saying, I made it, I did it, I overcame, I've reached my dreams, I've reached my potential. I am where I am today because I kept on fighting. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Maybe you had a dream and you lost it because of circumstances. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. So what's been your reaction? Stop complaining, stop settling, stop holding back, stop doubting yourself. The fact that you are alive means that you can make it. It means that you can do it. You need to see yourself one day doing big things in life. All of us. And it starts here and now. Sacrifice for your dreams and push for it. Those in matric, now is the time. Go all out. Those who are in grade 11, it's time to prepare. Those who are in varsity, it's time to kill it. Those who are out of varsity, make a plan. Do something. That's a famous phrase we say in South Africa. Make a plan. Make a way. Make a way. You're going to get there. Stop with the excuses. I can't, or this and that. Nothing's in my favor. Guys, we can do it. It's time that we put the name of the YPG up high. The name of God as well up high. And your name as well up high. It's time we put respect on all of our names. But that starts with all of you guys. Take a decision today to come out of the graveyard. Open your mind. Expand your mind. Explore new things. See yourself doing great things. Envision yourself somewhere in life. Once you have the vision, and as PJ well reminded us here, we put it into practice. We put it into action. We're going to make it. You guys can do great. Everyone here can do great. Everyone here can make a difference, can make an impact. But it starts with us. Take the initiative and go for it. The only one holding you back is yourself. It's not your friends. It's not this. It's not that. It's you. So stop holding yourself back because you are going to make it. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I believe that's also what PJ wanted to share. Don't settle for less, guys. Wake up. Come out of that sleep. Maybe you've been sleeping too much in the comfort zone. Let's go and push. Dream. I even give you a challenge, actually. Before you go to sleep, I want you to write down on a piece of paper, what is the thing you want to achieve? What is the thing that you want to conquer? Write it down. You need to have a goal. You need to have an objective. If you want to come out of this graveyard mentality, you need to have direction. So write down. What are you going to do? What are you going to achieve? Second thing, write down. What am I going to do to get there? Let's put it into action. Third thing, give yourself a time frame. From this time, this month or this year, I need to have reached this goal. Let's be realistic about it as well. Maybe it's to start a business. Maybe it is to achieve a certain mark at school. Maybe it is for you to have a certain, to be in a certain place in life. Do it. Get out of your routine. Stop doing the same thing over and over and over again. Here. Once you have all these things jotted down, break the routine, break the norm. Perhaps you walk the same street every day. Take a different route to school. Perhaps you go to the same places all the time. Go and explore something different. Go somewhere else. Do something new. Go to the suburbs. Go to these fancy places. Go and explore. Try something new. Maybe you don't like it. Great. Scratch it out the list, but you'll try something else. We can't settle. We can't expect different results doing the same things over and over and over again. So think about this. Take some time tonight. Write it down. What you want to achieve, what you're going to do to achieve it, and the time frame. And after you write it down, please, guys, please, pretty please. Grounds, we continue the mega hangout. And I know that there is already a plan in place for tomorrow's hangout. And I'm sure that it's going to be something super awesome. Last week was historic, guys. It was historic. We had 3 nations who ended the day on a minus. If I'm not mistaken, Spartans had minus 6.550. Forever One had minus 2,550. And Fantastic Four was on minus 950. And the Warriors walked away with 12K points. They were very wise. Winners don't gamble. And tomorrow we're going to continue fighting it out, battling it out again with the challenge of the teams here. Penyo says, I'm waiting for my gift from Shaka. Ish. We will discuss this with Shaka afterwards. So you guys can join us tomorrow at the grounds, 24456 Iming Drive, where we are going to be having this amazing moment together as the fam, united together as one. And I'm sure we're going to touch base on this topic again at the grounds. For those who were not with us, make arrangements, make a plan, and come through to the grounds tomorrow, because it's going to be something awesome. To those who are in the Western Cape, you can join us at Cape Town, 9 Bateman Street, or you can join us in Durban with the Amabuto at, I think it's 456 Anton Lembedi. I'm not good at the address, but you can join us anywhere. And I'm sure it's going to be something super awesome. Guys, I'm really out of gas. I'm really, really, really out of gas. That was a rant and a half. But I know that it's going to be something spectacular. So I'm going to wrap it off here because time is time. And I know that you guys are going to walk away with something super special. It was a special Vibe O'Clock. I also have some work to do for myself in regards to this. And we're going to make it, guys. We are going to do great things. So from me, for today, that is it. Ek is moeg. It was a lot. But yeah, don't stay in the graveyard mentality. Come out. Leave that graveyard mentality and aim high. It's time to take off, guys. It's time to pass the stratosphere, the atmosphere, all these spheres, and reach newer heights. So until then, guys, next week we'll be back again. And I know that it is going to be something super, super, super awesome. Until then, bye-bye.
Hey, vibrant community, welcome to Bible Club.
The show that's your portal to good vibes, laughter, and invaluable life lessons. How's everyone doing, Vibe Tribe? We've curated an extraordinary experience for you today. From wisdom-packed moments to captivating interviews, grab your favorite snacks, get comfortable, and let's embark on a journey of positive vibes together. We're unraveling essential life lessons, sharing stories that resonate, and who knows, there might be a surprise or two that'll leave you inspired. You know what time it is? It's time to take off. Buckle up Vibe Tribe